Welcome back, everybody, to Advantage in Paradise. And it's time for us to jump into our recap for tonight. We didn't have Stefan here last week to mime it. It didn't feel the same.
Never does.
Never does. That's exactly how dramatic it was. All right. Last we met on the 7th afternoon of Village Gloam, the Wild Shadow, on the Tolvisdag. The Wayward Five just succeeded in creating a Physidian seedling in the Pillar of Root within Gideon's workshop. The small bundle of fey magic should be capable of overwhelming and destroying Queen Aella's monolith, but they needed to create at least 2 more for the other monoliths. Working together once again, they prepared the process. Gideon and Baka would work the ritual. Timber would dutifully pull the lever to expose the Feywild rift within the Pillar of Roots. Sarathil would concentrate the magic through his arcane focus to a single point where Scarlet would use Baka's hammer to temper the magic. But the first go-around with this process exhausted our heroes. And though Gideon attempted to relieve them a bit with a greater restoration, they still held some levels of exhaustion, particularly Scarlet. And that weariness took its toll. Her hammer strike hit too early, bouncing the point of magic down into the Nexus anvil below, causing a massive explosion and sending Scarlet into the Feywild for a moment. Through the quick actions of Sarathil and Gideon, they contained the explosion. First with Sarathil's slow spell, keeping the explosion from ripping through the entire facility, and then Gideon's wall of stone. While in the Feywild, Scarlet saw the great rotting Ashkeeper on the horizon as she inhaled noxious clouds, inflicting her body with disease. But the unstable magic quickly brought her back before creatures began to find her. Unfortunately, the destruction still damaged the facility, and the Pillar of Root required significant repair. The party debated whether they should stay, repair, and create the other 2 ingots, or take the viable one now to a monolith while Gideon repairs. Ultimately, they decided to stay and help repair the facility, but it would require Baka to manipulate some risky time magic. Sarathil volunteered to help her with this magic. Outside, Scarlet let out her frustrations on some spiked melons with Baka's hammer. Ekbralgoth continued to spar with Elliot Fern, and Timber discussed the plan with Talio and Talray. Talio stated that Aella likely believes they would go to Novelli to lay the memory of Curon to rest, and therefore it will be watched heavily. He also believes Aella, if she suspects that you are going for the spires, would expect you to go to Sarathil first, to try to garner the most support. The party agreed that Ekbralgoth's plan was best. Attack the 2 outer monoliths simultaneously and come together in Sarathil. Talio volunteered to lead the Druids north, while the Wayward Five took out the southern monolith. Before they split to find some rest, Talio spent some time speaking with Scarlet. He wanted to know what Curon was like over this last defining year of his life. She said that he was very wise and always knew the right words to say. He told Scarlet that he remembered a bumbling fool, whose words left his mouth too fast, and who would fall into the little rivers whenever they went fishing. But a wise fool. He offered to hear out her frustrations as Curon once did, before himself going and falling into a pond. Inside, Gideon, Baka, and Sarathil would tether their souls temporarily to try and keep Baka alive and to keep their minds from slipping beyond into the unknown planes of time. At several moments, Sarathil slipped, and he found himself unstuck from time. He relived the Ley Sanctum crisis in Horstra due to the Ultimastra Sanctum explosion. He relived his companions dying of magical sickness as they hunted for the old temple of Ilyvania. But he tethered his mind back to this reality and poured the power of his own soul into Gideon and Baka to keep them alive to finish the work. And now he lay on the ground, staring up at the mending roots and the rapidly taming Fey Rift, entirely in this single moment. All right. Sarathil.
Yes.
You can see sort of the time around you moving quickly, I would say. You see Baka, once your life force went into her and Gideon, they started to move quickly to try to resolve the issues as quickly as possible to get you all out of there. You can barely move. You can feel that you are still tethered, though, to them, and that your life force is still connected to them. And you can feel that you are no longer kind of slipping in and out of time. But I'm going to need you to do some saving throws for me real quick.
Yep.
Not death saving throws. You're not dying. Not today, at least. But I do need you to give me some Constitution saving throws. So,
Constitution saving throw?
Yep, I'm going to need you to do a couple of them.
Okay.
So let's do through this slowly.
Yep.
So let's do the first one.
Oh, do you want me to roll the first one now? I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna say something else.
Nope, sorry. I want you to roll. That's what I was
13.
13. Okay. All right. So you can feel kind of almost like your body seizes for a moment, and you feel like you can't move, and then you slowly do start to move your fingers. Give me a second one. We're doing 6 of these, by the way.
15 that time.
15, okay. You are staving off any sort of loss of function in your body that you can feel slowly happening. You grit your teeth a bit, and you're able to lift yourself up a bit, having avoided potentially being unable to move. Give me another con saving throw.
Oh, come on, let's go, Sarathil. 21.
All right. You suddenly feel you look and you can see that little flame above you starts to burn brighter as your will starts to come back, your spirit a bit. Baka and Gideon are getting their own strength back, and therefore they're allowing parts of you to go back to you so you can rise a bit. Another one.
$13.
Okay. So this one, you feel the pangs of the pain sifting through your body again. You feel burning throughout, just like your nerves are all alighting in a way that you don't usually feel because your nerves are so deadened. you somewhat. There's a small part of you it's exhilarating, as it feels you suddenly your heart rate is going up. All right, we got 2 more.
All right, 18.
Okay. You fight off this pain, and you're able to now kind of fully sit yourself up, kind of breathing heavily as you're kind of pushing away any of this after effect that's sort of coursing through your body. All right.
$16.
Okay. You feel the deep breaths you're taking, the in and out, the in and out, the in and out is starting to exhaust you a bit as you try to stand up fully now and fall back down, as you have 2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh.
There's only one way for you to die today, Sarathil, and that was 6 failures.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty good with all those. Those are pretty good rolls.
Yeah. Especially, for you.
Especially last time,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The memories of the past fill me with determination.
Exactly. But it's at this kind of point where you are coming back to that you do fall back down, and kind of maybe it plops you back down into the original kind of on your back, but you know that you are going to live now. You can feel that you're just tired and that your body needs to rest. And you kind of are slowly blinking in and out of consciousness. And like, as you open your eyes every now and then, like, you just see them working above, doing the final mendings to the trees. And then you'd open your eyes and there would just be the face of the owl above you, Astraeus. And you close your eyes and open, and they're gone. And you open them again and they're there, and it's closer, and you can feel their talons on your chest, almost like they're digging in. And you can see the stars in those eyes, and you close your eyes again and they're gone. Before you close your eyes one last time and fall unconscious. As you can kind of just hear, sort of in that movie way where it slowly starts to mute as you fall unconscious, you just hear Baka, hey, dead men, stay with us. As you can kind of just feel a little hand slapping your face as you fall completely unconscious. Okay. Outside, the rest of you, it's not been that long. It's probably only been like maybe an hour that you've been kind of just staying out there. Ekbaralgoth, you and Elliot Fern are in your final bout of dueling. Okay. You've been dueling just for an hour and a half straight, basically.
Yeah.
But let's just do kind of like a quick, like 1, 2, 3. You roll 3 attacks, he'll roll 3 attacks. Whoever has the most in the end is who won the duel.
Right. So the thing is, Ekbaralgoth loves fighting, but he's not above some cheap tricks.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll allow you to cheat, for sure.
So it all depends how he's doing. He'll fight with honor until he's losing, and then he will play dirty. So we'll do these one at a time.
Okay. All right, first one.
So Stefan looks at the dice. Oh my god, they're all 20s.
Okay, Elliot Fern did not do great on the first bout. He got a 12.
Ekbarl got, with a plus 12 to hit, 27.
Holy shit, plus 12. Yeah, Ekbargoth absolutely roasted him in the first round. Elliot Fern definitely was far too confident.
Okay.
All right.
Do another nice little roll.
Oh, jeez, I'm not using this dice anymore.
It's a 29.
Yeah, Bolgoth got a natural 1, so he was a bit too. You know what? He gets a little too rambunctious in his profound statements as he's taunting you, and you just absolutely just bring the flat of your blade into his face as he's trying to give a monologue, basically. All right, let's do one more. You've beaten him, but this is kind of like the last spat to see if he can get anything in.
Right. All right, that's a 22.
Okay. So he does get a 26 on his last one. So I think you've taught Elliot Fern a lesson today, in that only villains get to monologue.
Yeah, so I imagine, so it's like, the first bout, Ekbar gets one in, then he smacks him in the face with the flat of his blade, and then he like walks back, and he almost makes the same exact mistake Fern's making, and he's like, "You really think you could win against me? The Seneschal of Iker, please. I am Zendariel's right hand, and I'm here to fight you mortals and show you just what it is the hells are capable." And then that's when Fern comes in with a quick strike and gets them in the plate armor.
Love it. Absolutely.
It was still best 2 out of 3, of course, but...
I'll give it to you. You're not a bad fighter for a foul demon from the abyss. I expected more cheating.
You only need to cheat when you're up against an opponent good enough, Bralgoth says, and turns and starts to saunter off to go clean up or some shit. I don't know.
I must go train, I must go practice, I must be strong for Gideon the Great.
Yeah, you finish up, and basically you would find, you kind of were singularly focused on this, and you kind of look around, you can see Timber is just, I'm at this point, Timber is just foraging around in the greenhouses looking for reagents. Talray, what are you up to?
I think Talray, after last session's conversation, he was gonna go check up on the stuff that's going on inside. So
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I just did a round, I saw that Ekbar Goth was finishing up, so I decided to wait for him, and I'm probably
Sure.
just looking at him expectantly.
Rowan, Scarlet, what are you doing?
I would be cleaning up the melon at this point, because I know I got it all over the hammer, and Baka said to make sure you clean it off, so I'll be doing that, but still, with 2 levels of exhaustion and still poisoned from last, right?
So
still poisoned from last.
Yeah, you're gonna be poisoned for the rest of the day.
Wonderful. Okay, so yeah,
Talio is helping you out as that's why he fell in the waters, because he was getting you water to clean the hammer.
Aw. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and I'm stumbling around. I need a nap.
Okay. So I imagine you all would kind of come together at this point. Timber would finish up with his scrounging for reagents. And you can follow Talray to go check on the ritual, or you all can rest. What do you all want to do?
Check on Sarathil with Talray.
So did you all do the magic mumbo jumbo and get the MacGuffins that we need or whatever?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to be heroes. Don't you just get these things, from your helpers, whatever they're called?
No,
We're
we
gonna
don't.
try.
We're not spoon-fed from our god.
Yeah, says the guy who spent an hour fighting with a shrubbery.
Oh,
That's
I'd love
real
to see you
impressive,
in the
my
ring
friend.
against the Knight of the Green. He's not too bad. He might make a good ally in the future. Something to keep our eyes on.
We'd all look over and see him in the middle of the courtyard, just swinging his massive thorn sword all around, shouting into the afternoon air.
Did you just compliment? somebody from the surface above?
I know a good fighter when I see one. I will never deny that. Better than me? Hardly possible, but a good leader knows a good follower, and he is one of the best. Just not following the right person at the moment.
I look around for Sarathil.
Do you go back down into the chamber?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I follow behind.
Cool. So what you all would find at first is just sort of this strange warping, almost rapidly moving bubble that's filling up the entire chamber. You like go down the spiral staircases that lead down, and you're like stopped at this wall where it's not stopping you. You don't feel like a wind buffing you, but you're all experienced enough adventurers not to touch the weird whirling bubble. I hope. But yeah, you would basically you would see this warped, almost opaque, almost glassy effect. Inside, though, you would see things just like rapidly moving. You could see lights shimmering, and it's like a storm of activity in there where you can't really discern what's happening here and there. You're just seeing movement all around, these three flames that kind of like all over the place, and then magic bursting out from one of them, and it shrinks down into a little tiny bubble and then slowly grows back to half its strength as everything starts to kind of slow down a little bit in there. And then you see it just sort of go ahead.
Was that for me or was that for somebody else?
Who's for you?
Okay. Can we see anybody inside the swirling madness or not yet?
Not really. You can see shapes moving around that, and you see there's at least three of them, so you can assume those are them. Right. One is really small, so you know who that one is.
Yeah.
Sarathil.
Clearly.
Definitely.
Not the mouse folk, Briganog. But it all does start to slow down in the same way, kind of like a wind turbine, a twister kind of slows down, and everything slowly settles. And you can see as it, you can see the pillar of root is completely repaired. It looks exactly like it did when you were first here. All the modules and everything all look repaired. Some of those look a little bit more, MacGyvered and taped together. There is still kind of like singe marks though in certain places from the explosion and the disintegrate beam. And some of the rocky rubble is still there, but it's all pushed kind of to the side. And you can see Gideon is finishing things up and kind of rushing around and just like checking everything and clearly testing things. As you can see, he's starting to get tired as this time vortex is going away. And you can see slapping him in the face. You can see Baka is just kind of slapping Sarathil's unconscious face right now.
Okay. I will stumble over there and try to help wake him up. No. Is he alive? Please tell me he's alive, please.
He's alive. He's alive. He just took a tumble through time. It's fine. A dead man. Wake up, please, so your friends don't blame us for your death. Please. Keeps slapping him in the face a little bit. And she looks at you, she's like, I promise he is fine. He's alive. I was almost dead.
Fine.
And then he helped me. And now I'm not dead and he's not dead because of his actions. He's a hero.
Talray, do you have one of those berry things?
I cast Goodberry and I...
No, do not feed him one of those. Let me check him first before you do this. Never mind. I push Talray out of the way.
Can I take an action roll to throw a berry into Kieran's mouth? Sorry, not Kieran.
Kieran is thousands of miles away.
Sarathil's mouth.
He's really hyped
as
for that
I
one.
get shoved.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a ranged attack.
I have to at least try. It's
Are you
the
trying
only
to tell me
way.
you're throwing a good berry in my closed mouth?
He's literally trying to like beer
I
pong
don't
a
care
good
if your
berry in your
is
mouth.
closed. I don't even care. I just want to see that the berry hits your lips. That's all that matters to me. I rolled a 19
Sarathil's-
plus 12. That's a 31.
Sarathil's lips have a really high AC. But I made the lips ridiculously high, and you still beat it. So I'm just gonna say, yes, the good berry bounces off of Sarathil's lips, but it does not open his mouth. The good berry does not have that kind of velocity.
I don't know. Continue.
Watching this happen, just sighs and rolls his eyes, and he goes, "You all really did need so much help." And he walks over to Sarathil, and you watch his greatsword is just magically gone now. As he clutches his chest, and you see his hand like almost like digs into the plate mail, like bending it a little. As you watch, he casts some kind of magic, and he puts his other hand over Sarathil and like kneels down a little, and you watch this font of energy rush into him as he casts his infernal conduit, taking health from himself and transferring it to his ally.
Hell yeah.
So we'll just...
Stefan, can you describe for us what that, if you want to, I can also describe it. What that would feel like for Sarathil, having infernal life force infused into him.
Of course. Well, it's only 17 points of healing, but I imagine it's this almost anger that gets him up. It's all, the sins that you can think of: wrath, gluttony, greed, lust, like all these things rushing into you, and that's what wakes you up. It's not, the healing, it's not, Iluvanya's, light touch of like, go and save the world, be a good person. It is I'm too fucking angry to die right now. I have things to do, and how dare the gods try to end my life. Not that your life is ending, but, for safety's sake. So you just watch this like red energy coursing through his arms and beams down into Sarathil's chest right next to Scarlet.
Oh yeah. So Sarathil, you feel all of those feelings.
His eyes just wide and open, and he just sits up. He's like, "Is anyone else? I will not."
Sarah, what did you do?
Oh, be careful! It's not just it's not just the guy with the horns. It could also be the it's Sarathil, dead man.
Relax, man. It was only a berry.
I told you not to feed him the berry.
Okay, I think everyone needs to back up. You're gonna crowd.
Ekbarl is already walking his way back out of the spot, the workshop, and is like, Wayward Five heroes.
Dead man. Hey, breathe.
This...
We took a tumble. But we did it. You're just a little exhausted. You really pulled it through for us there. We were down. It was gonna end. All three of us. Whatever you did, whatever you tapped into, got the job done.
I've never experienced such a thing in my life. How long has it been?
For them, points to Scarlet and them. It's what? How long have we been out? An hour? Hour and a half?
Sounds about right.
Okay, so it was a very long time for us.
State I was in when I gave everything. When I thought I was going to sacrifice myself. Felt like an eternity. Darkness took me. I strayed out of thought and time. Memories wheeled overhead, and every day was as long as a life age here. But I'm back.
Have I heard that before? And she says to you, she's hovering above you, no. And you see Gideon kind of hops down from up above, and kind of like, even his tired old form, he's still like jumping around, and he jumps down from up above where you can see he was literally checking on the rift above. And he goes and he gives a hand to you, Sarathil, to lift you up.
reach up, grab it, pull myself up, but I'll kind of like tumble a bit and kind of like hold on to him again.
Steady
As I try to,
yourself.
I'll help him up too. Other arm.
There's nothing quite like traversing the waves of time.
It's like his legs are probably like still shaking, just like feeling like spaghetti. It's like, I need to sit.
Yes, you all need to rest.
Or for like the closest, like just chairs or something that's not the floor. We'll kind of just like go towards. I just sit.
Are you all right? Can I get you something something to eat?
Rest, definitely, but
I'm with you there.
I am okay.
I'm so sorry. If I hadn't missed, you wouldn't have had to do that. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I won't miss again.
Sean,
Yes.
before Scarlet spoke, but like once once Sarathil was like up, Timber would have actually walked away and went to go find Ekbalgroth. But continue on this.
Absolutely.
Scene.
Thank you.
Okay.
As you sit and rest, and you two are saying this, you see Gideon comes up, or he kind of followed you over there as he was also helping Sarathil. Yes, what you've done here. Impressive. Would have killed the lesser mage. So, certain. But
I couldn't fall again to time until my task is done.
I'm sure you saw a lot of things. It's going to take a little while to recover from that. We can't do this today. We'll need to rest as much as possible. I'll see what I can do, if I can scrape together more goods. If you by any chance, the lot of you have some diamonds, I can help.
I don't have any.
Remind me, because I can't remember, when we were in the Underdark, and it was we were rewarded with precious gemstones. Was that all given to Timber, or was that collectively to us?
I think Timber may have kept them collectively in, because I told you specifically how many of them were diamonds, so that it wasn't kind of a...
Blast through him. I can't remember. I wanted to ask him if he's here, but I'll have to wait.
For now, rest. Rest. We can see to it when you wake tomorrow. It's gonna take more than one day for you to cover. Unless we can get our hands on some diamonds.
That's no argument for me. I let them slump back.
There's some
kind of just like-
calibrations I still need to do for this machine with Baka. But it'll be ready.
Sarathil's already just passed out, where he's like old man napping, where he's just against the wall with his head down.
No, let's no, come on. We need to go let's go lie down. Come on.
Okay. He'll take Scarlet's assistance.
Yep.
And go to a better place to rest.
I'm gonna go pass the fuck out.
As the two of you do that, you would immediately hear a loud clapping noise as Gideon just claps his hands and then holds his arms out. And he's not looking at you. He's turned his back completely to you, and he's now looking at his machine with Baka hovering around. And he's just like, "All right, it's time. Let's get back to work."
the moon, glory. These champion sacrifices.
All right, let's run protocol. Here we go. And even as you like leave, like roots kind of grow in the doorway, kind of protecting the other chambers from whatever they're gonna do now.
Okay. We'll go back to the room where we had slept the other night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the way, Talio's been with you this whole time.
Okay.
Just for reference. He comes with you to go rest. Or to help you too, because you're also equally as exhausted as Sarathil.
Yeah, I like to imagine we're both just like it's like two drunk people trying to get back from the bar, just like hanging off each other.
Yeah, like Scarlet tries to help carry you off, and then you both are just like wobbly, like newborn baby legs, and Talia comes up and is like, okay, all right, let me get you both.
Is there any way that I'm sure I'm covered in the caramelized blue watermelon? Is there any way I could like take a bath or something before I go to bed?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's still pretty early in the day, technically, but you know.
Sure.
I know. Well, what I mean is that like you guys can have leisure time. You can take a bath. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Yes, I'd like
and
a
then
bath.
rest whenever you want. Yeah, easy enough.
Okay.
All right. Timber, you walk off to follow Ekbralgoth. Ekbralgoth, I imagine you just kind of went into the quarters, or did you go outside?
He probably went outside, just get some fresh air. Watch Fern continue to train.
I guess like just Timber being Timber, really just like kind of just being sneakily getting up to Ekbaralgoth and just like start talking, not walk up to him and like make his presence known. He's just there.
Oh, yeah, like that moment in a movie when the camera is slowly moving backwards and then you just step into frame.
Right. Pretty much.
Or Batman behind him.
Or Batman. I am the world's greatest detective. No, just... So, let me get something straight with you. I'm just out of curiosity, because you're helping our group, but you're chastising us at the same time. So, do you want to be here?
Of course I do. Did I not make that clear?
I'm
here to run amok in the material plane, gaining strength, challenging foes, while of course doing Zendario's will, and helping. He just waves his hand towards Timber.
But she has some sort of, binding on you, right? For you to behave yourself, correct?
You see him, not so subtly, just like kind of like push at the amulet around his neck. He goes, something of the sort, yes.
So, did you ever consider the fact that maybe if you do behave yourself for a longer period of time, kind of like prison, maybe she'll let you free in the material plane?
At this, Ekbaralgoth turns to like fully face Timber and goes, "You've never met a didact of hell, have you?"
No, nor do I plan to. Or at least, maybe I will. I don't know.
They're not exactly benevolent creatures. Zendario by far is the most, but my freedom would never be granted to come here and do as I please. No. No, I fear I will always be subservient to her unless I can find a way myself to break free of my shackles.
I came here to hope to find a way for you to be softer to our group. But
soft. Your group. You're all cuddled like children. Please. A lot of you really need to learn when the planes are at stake. It's time to get real. It's time to buckle down and do what's necessary.
They do. We do. It's just, our friend just died. The reason actually you were sent here.
Yes, I'm aware. And why did he die again?
Timber doesn't answer that.
I'm sure it's because he was soft and weak.
I am so glad I am not there for this conversation.
Timber's a little infuriated in the inside, but he's talking to a demon, so he's like, okay.
Death only comes to the unworthy. Unless they have another use. Like your friend down there. I don't think he was fully dead, but it helps to be like, you're right.
Either way, I appreciate you helping Sarathil, regardless if we are soft individuals. So, just wanted to say thank you.
Of course. I'm nothing if not helpful to my friends.
Zendariel chose you. Okay. So what can't you do?
Well,
You're
Ekbalgoth
allowed. Are
stops
you allowed to
think and,
lie?
actually thinks about it for a second, and he's like, I can do just about anything I set my mind to. I don't always succeed the first time, but
Oh, I meant like, what will Zendariel sting you for? Are
I
you
think-
allowed to lie?
I'm not
Am I
sure.
hearing-
Let's just say I haven't tried it yet with you all.
Well, why don't you try it?
You want me to test right now what Zendariel
Yes.
can do?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks around and he goes, the sky is black. And he looks down at his amulet and kind of lifts it a little and goes, oh, I guess I can lie. Oh no, how can you ever trust me now? Oh.
Just curious.
You know, they say curiosity killed the wolf, or I forget how.
Why don't you try to slice my hand?
What would that accomplish?
I'm just curious. I don't know what that amulet is doing.
Well, I have no reason to slice your hand, so if there's nothing else, he says, and he turns his attention away from Timber.
Timber stands there and just lets him go.
Okay, I was like, what are you gonna do now, Timber? You gonna provoke him more?
Give me a kiss.
So Dell's like, no, I loved him. Brian. Divorce.
Okay. So, is there anything anyone else would like to do during the rest of this day, or is everyone getting onward to the rest?
I do.
Just for narrative's sake, I was following Talio and Scarlet and Sarathil as they went back to the camp, and basically I didn't say anything to them. I'm just watching from a distance, and then when they go to sleep, I'm just standing guard.
Excellent. Yeah, I imagine you and Talio are kind of simultaneously keeping watch over them in this way.
Aww.
Sure.
Before we go to sleep and after we've maybe cleaned up a little bit and I imagine we're in that state that we're too exhausted to sleep just yet.
Yeah.
I will kind of like look over to Sarathil and just be like, how are you feeling now? I know it's only been a couple hours, but any better?
Yes.
Good.
I definitely felt better after I awoke. Because I knew I'm doing the right thing. I'm still fighting.
Yeah. Still fighting. Can I ask you a question? If you've got the space for it.
On your mind.
How did you so easily allow the newcomers, I'll say, into the group? I know it's not because you've forgotten our other friends, but how did you accept them? I can't do it.
I know I'm old, but before I was trapped in time, I'd say I was pretty old too then. I've seen the evil and the worst that people can do. And I've dedicated my life to trying to ridding that and resolving the pain that's been caused. And through all the bad that I've seen, there always seemed to be more good in the people that I met. So I tend to think the best in people, up to a point. I try not to be naive. But also, I was a newcomer too. What did you think when you saw this zombified creature in the depths of hell emerge and say that he wanted to help?
To be honest, we still had most of our original group, so I felt safer welcoming someone new into the group. And Chiron seems to trust you, and I generally followed his lead.
I will admit he seemed much wiser than I, and I regret I did not get to speak with him or know him longer. But he is not gone. I know it. And I think you do too.
I know. It's so difficult with him not here. I know what it is we have to do, and we have a plan, and we're going to make these little concentrated, whatever you call them. And then we're going to go and destroy these monoliths and eventually get to Queen Aella's court, and then what? He's probably going to be there. But it won't be him. I don't think.
We'll have to do everything we can to get him back then. We were able to with Rodrin.
I remember that.
So we can.
I'd die again if it would help. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
Either you ponder whether she exists still or not. Definitely. Her power will come into play again with Kira. As it has with me.
I think we should rest now. I also feel like I'm going to be sick, so it's probably best I stop talking.
Rest easy. We did something good today. Get us one step closer.
I have a funny definition of good, but sure.
We created one stone, did we not? Could have easily failed on that first one, but you got it.
That's true.
And with the right time, when you bring back your full strength, I know you can do it again.
Thanks, Sarathil. You rest easy as well.
Zelda will turn.
Okay. All right. So, with Talio and Talaray watching over the two of you as you rest easy, keeping an eye on you, making sure you will both have water and food as you rest. Ekbrolgoth and Timber will come when they come to rest as well. You will all eventually go to sleep. Sarathil.
Yo.
I'm gonna describe some things right now. While I'm doing so, I would like to ask you just to think of a random time in Sarathil's life that I'm gonna ask you to describe in a moment. Just a memory, a time kind of similar to what we did last session, but anything that you would like to describe, anything you can think of, maybe that is just a random point in Sarathil's life. But as you're thinking of that,
Okay.
Sarathil, you're falling into this sleep that feels strange. It's sort of that sort of half awake, half asleep feeling you get sometimes when you're starting to fall asleep and your brain starts dreaming before you're fully asleep, and you kind of like fall. You know, when you think you're falling and you dash up out of a sleep. You're kind of stuck in this in and out throughout the night. You're still going to get a long rest, but it's a very rough night for you. It feels like forever. It feels like it's taking forever for you to just sleep and wake up. As you find yourself weaving in and out of what at some points feels like very concretely is a dream. Like I was just dreaming. And other times where you feel like you were actually there and are coming back from something. Do you have a memory?
Yes, I do. Going back to what you mentioned last session, where I was going in and out of my memories, where I was late for class. The bell struck, and I was back in university. I'm back to that time period. But also, going off of the conversation I just had with Scarlett, this is why I was late that day. You see a young Sarathil with his books, parchments, all tucked together as he's on his way to class. When a bit of clumsiness, because he's still a little clumsy, but he used to be a little clumsier. A big gust of wind ripped through, and a lot of his papers, a lot of his findings and research fluttered away. And he starts chasing it. He's like, "Oh no, my work! I can't, please!" As it flies in and falls into a nearby fountain, and he jumps in, be like, "Oh, blast my work! I can't lose this data!" As he's like jumping in, splashing around, making himself like look like a fool. And as he's like flustered and freaking out and grabbing at these pieces of parchment, in the pond there's like lily pads and flowers and stuff. He sees all of a sudden they start like collecting together and picking up some of the pieces of paper, and like they're moving towards him. And he turns around and he finds that there's a woman standing there. Another same who goes to the university as well. And this is his first encounter with Hypatia. And seeing the good that just someone randomly did, he thanks her like, that wasn't necessary at all. But thank you. And he just gets lost in that moment of the first conversation that they had. And at the end of it, that's when you hear the bell boom, dinging, where he is late for his class. And he composes his stuff together. But it's like, it's time to leave. I need to get to class. And starts bolting for class. And that's where that memory was.
I love it. So you start to bolt away towards class, and you, once again, being clumsy, you trip and fall into ground again. And as you do so, you feel yourself falling and you hit the ground, and you feel yourself sink through it. As if you fell in the water again, because you know you definitely like fell into the stone cobble. But you sink through, you feel yourself in water. You firmly feel yourself suffocating now. Someone is choking you. The water is all glittering with silver. As you can see through the water, the warped, pale, undying face of Curon strangling you. In the waters of Queen Aella's court. And as you're kind of like struggling to breathe and maybe even like shouting out or reaching up for Curon, you suddenly feel his hands disappear. You're just in the water again. This time you look around and you see other Gwyn elves in the water with you, all falling. You see black smoke up above and green and opalescent lightning shooting across the sky as you can see buildings collapsing above the water, and you see a giant tower falling towards you, collapsing into the water as it all goes black at that point. Eyes slowly open, and you're floating in an astral sea. And then you breathe in, and your face comes up out of the astral sea, out of water again. And you're looking up at confusing vision. Land and sky almost folding into itself, and almost like a impossible mosaic of things just sinking and melding and unmelding into each other, almost like constant forms of these things overlapping. Each moment, each second in time that something is moving, floating in the sky, you see it doesn't disappear. It's each memory behind staying before catching up. You hear something walking on the water with a big long staff that's just sort of... You see this creature, possibly tall, lithe, and stretched out. It has the face of a goat with a third eye on the forehead, vertical. It has 4 arms. One is holding a light in the center, while the other one is holding, and the other one is just sort of grasping at a cloak around it. It has these spikes coming off of its back as it's just walking. And then it looks right at you. Its eyes glow. This impossible glow. It's almost all also drained of all color. It's just sort of black and white. With this one light that it holds in the center. That is probably the only place you see some color. It's a little bit of gold emanates off of it.
Mm-hmm. Do I know what this creature is?
Give me an Arcana check.
We're gonna do knowledge of the past. That was terrible. Come on. 13.
Okay. You have no idea. You've never seen a creature like this. You've never heard of a creature like this. You've never heard of a place like this.
2 1s. So am I still like floating, or like in this astral state?
No,
okay, so
it's solid now. You could stand up. You're in probably
I'm standing on it.
Yeah, you're probably in a couple feet of water, kind of floating a little bit, but your feet feel the bottom. Like you could stand up.
Okay, so I'll stand up, and it's just looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say anything. I'll just sit and watch its movements and see if it does anything else.
It would, you would hear a voice in your head at some point, eventually.
Would you like a fortune?
For what price?
No price. A fortune for a weary traveler. If you wish.
I stay silent for a second. Looking around, still I'm probably half sure if this is like real or a dream or something. But he'll come back and look at him and just give a slight nod.
Roll me a D100 and call it high or low.
High or low?
Yeah, you choose high or low.
Before I roll?
Before you roll.
Let's do low.
Low. All right, go ahead and roll your D100.
55.
Okay. You see the creature holds those two arms out that are holding the light in its center, and one goes out holding it up. And they don't like shoot that at you. They hold it up. Their hands, you now notice, have like, they don't have 5 fingers. They have 10 fingers on each hand of the ones holding the ball. It's sort of this crazy sort of double hand that you can see. And their fingers move almost spider-like, independent of each other. As you see just one finger kind of dips into the orb and then flicks towards you. It's a small little light towards you, and it goes into your chest. As you see a vision. You are at the base of the monolith. From context clues, looking around, you don't see a city around you. You see forests. So you can presume you're in the southern one.
Mm-hmm.
You see everyone's fighting all around you. You see Scarlet kind of jumps up and jumps on the back of a Luna Protectorate soldier and jams her dagger between the plate into the neck as blood splurts out. As you can see, Talray flying above and shooting down, and Timber just going beast mode into an Aluna Protectorate soldier. As you're kind of like looking up at the pillar, you're not in control of yourself here. You're just experiencing this. Mm-hmm. You look down and you have the Facidian seed in your hand as they're fighting, and you run up and you fire off some spells. You see one Luna Protectorate soldier coming running at you. He comes and he goes to stab at you, but you quickly get off a blight on him, and you see all that moisture leaves as his body desiccates, and then you find yourself at the base of the monolith. You can see the monolith is much bigger than you maybe even imagined it to be, as it shoots up into the sky, and it's made of jagged rock, almost ancient, like it was not carved with a chisel, but was ripped out of the earth and placed here. And you've got the orb in your hands, and you see a beam of light shoots from the sky down in front of you. You see a figure descends really quickly and lands in front of you. As you can see, the unnamed champion that killed Curon is in front of you. You go and you kind of like take a few steps back as that giant mace is there, and you can see he's coming towards you. And in this moment, you dart forward and kind of like try to jump past him. He swings for you, it misses, and you just sort of smash this face seed into the ground, and it just... and a massive explosion happens, and you feel yourself ripped to pieces. And the last thing you see is the fire spreading and ripping your friends to pieces as well, and the unnamed champion. And as the last second, all you can see is sort of this violent tree has ripped up from that spot and ripped through the spire, shattering it in half as one part just is falling towards you in those last seconds. As you can see where the spire has been ripped in half, you see another fey rift, just like the one in his workshop. And then everything goes black as you die.
Okay, so it was an explosion and I died from the explosion.
Yeah.
From that shit. Okay.
And then you open your eyes and you look and you can see the goat seer staring back at you.
One fortune for one weary travel.
May I ask what you are?
It looks and cocks its head a little and then looks away. Just starts slowly walking away. But you feel as though things should end here. This was a dream of sorts. You should be waking up right now. You see the creature stops after it walks maybe 50 feet away. It looks back at you as you can kind of see all around. You're still in this weird universe. It looks back and cocks its head as if it's also confused as to why you're still here.
Unstuck. Be careful where you tread, weary traveler. This realm is dangerous.
Would you guide me then?
No. There is no guidance here. Only your own eyes. And everything that ever will be or ever has been.
Starts to walk away from you again. After a few moments of sort of confusion, you would feel yourself sink back into that water, like the ground gave way and then you wake up in the middle of the night. You kind of feel for your own body and the bed that you're on, and you are back in, for all intents and purposes, what you believe to be reality.
Yeah, I don't even know anymore. I look over, do I see Scarlet sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
Talray and Talio.
Mm-hmm.
They standing just like their backs to me, or?
I imagine at this point, Talray, would you have gone to bed at a normal hour or stayed up late?
Yeah, I probably would have taken shifts with Talio, but let him get more rest because I felt like, I haven't been doing much lately. Everybody else has been trying to figure out these problems, and I put in my input, but I didn't do anything physically.
Then I would say Talray is awake this time. When in Talray, you would see Sarathil kind of awake in a sweat, kind of panicking.
Yeah, I mean, I'd turn to him and be like, everything all right there? You were doing some strange stuff. I mean, I can't explain what type of time nonsense you've been dealing with, but that would give me nightmares too.
They no longer can tell what's reality and what's a memory and what's anything anymore. Tell me something that the real or present Talia would say. Say anything. As you can see, Sarathil's kind of like just like freaked out, and he doesn't really know like what to say right now.
Well, if you're looking for a good time, you should probably meet with Glomel. He's a great dragon god who likes to do his own thing, and I respect him deeply, and that is the reason why I'm searching for him. Does that help ease your mind that it's me?
I suppose.
I could tell you about my dragonic gifts, and I could also tell you that you're the only person I told here about them.
Hey, have I gotten rid of any exhaustion, or is it still early in the night? What would you say?
You because of your because you only need 4 hours, right, to do a long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have gotten rid of at least one level of exhaustion.
Hmm. No. That's quite all right, Tare. I think I'm awake, but I just need, I think, some cool fresh air to think.
Well, why don't I take a walk with you? My legs were getting stiff anyway.
Sure, but I must say I'm not really in the mood for talking.
Fine by me.
And, yeah. Talray can join him on the walk. Just wants to get outside and kind of just, like, breathe through the air. Quick question, actually, going back to it. In the Astral Sea, besides sight, like, what other, like, were there any other senses that I got from there? Like, if I were to breathe, would I get the sensation of air, or was there just like nothingness essentially, or was there a certain scent to it?
Good question, actually. So when you were in the space with the goat seer, like when you were no longer floating but in the physical space,
yeah.
When you breathed in, it was an odd sensation. It almost felt like you breathed in, and then 2 seconds later, like not even 2 seconds, like a microsecond later, you breathed in again, breathed in again, breathed in again, breathed in again. You felt like several breaths at once, almost like just a slightly delayed time where it's.
I got what you're saying.
Yeah, but it would feel odd. It would feel uncomfortable. Here, you feel that central singularity of yourself.
That's what I wanted to. That's just all I wanted to know. Where he's just. I'm not looking to do anything. I'm just going outside. Yep. The cool night, taking in a deep breath just to get grounded back in reality again.
Yeah, Talray tried levity, didn't really work, so he's keeping his mouth shut, but he definitely looks visibly concerned if Sarathil like looks back to check on him.
I get just lost in a moment where I'm just like staring up and just like lost in thought. Not for too long. Probably for a good like up to 5 minutes or so. Where I would turn back and say, I feel okay. Should get back to bed. We have a big day tomorrow to finish up these stones.
Probably a good idea.
As I'll head back down.
Yep.
And rest.
Absolutely. The two of you spend that short time outside to get that fresh air. It's cool outside. You can see all the stars above and the broken moon spilled out over the sky. And the sounds of life. Grounded life.
Yes. No interstellar nonsense.
Yeah.
When Sarathil goes back to bed, I'm gonna stay outside and maybe summon Mundi and just, just let him loose and let him fly around in the sky, because it just seemed like a nice, cool night, like something that he'd appreciate. And I just sit down and practice my harmonica some more.
Absolutely.
Quietly, of course, so I don't wake anybody up.
Absolutely. A low and peaceful harmonic tone goes out as Mundi gives you a one quick nuzzle of his head into your shoulder, just in a sign of thanks, as he then, and you can watch as you're playing the harmonica almost in tune to his swoops and his twirls as the night goes on until you
Nice.
hell yeah, until eventually you find yourself resting again, and Talio takes up the last one.
Hello.
Sarathil, you now have access as a wizard to all chrono magic.
Yes, let's fucking go. I was gonna ask that, but thank you.
Yes, you have access to any spells that are, which I'll mess with your character sheet so that you can actually add them eventually. But you have access to any chronergist spells. And
I'd have to find it though to learn it.
Yes, but I'm gonna say you do get one spell automatically, which is Fortune's Favor. That is sort of what's been bestowed upon you by the Goat
Man,
otherwise known as Gabrari, which only Kiran has met one before besides you. It similarly showed himself dying.
Was it in the way that he died? That'd been real cool.
It wasn't. That would have been awesome, and that would have been very impressive on my part. But no, Scarlet died instead. Okay.
Good.
Did you say good?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So, the next day you would all wake up. Sarathil, you'll have rested enough to have gotten rid of both of your levels of exhaustion. Scarlet, you have gotten rid of one.
Isn't gone?
The poison is gone. Yes. Yeah. You feel a little kind of the rest wasn't great though because of the poison. Like you were coughing a lot in the evening, and you feel better, but you don't feel better. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, but you all would, those of you who were not exhausted would wake up a little bit earlier, but you would all generally be awake by by around 8 a.m. What would y'all like to do?
I have a setting I want to do, but I want to do it when everybody else is gone.
Okay.
So
you want to hang back until everyone's gone and start
even
their day?
even if I wake up, I'm gonna just pretend to stay sleeping for a little bit. so I can do that real quick.
Sarathil would immediately, upon getting up, go straight to see Gideon and Baka without saying a word.
Okay.
Just to see their progress.
Absolutely. What are the rest of you doing?
I imagine Ekbaralgoth just goes out to see if Fern is maybe out training and he might join him to pass the time.
Absolutely. Fast friends, I think.
Timber's being a creep on Ekbalgoth and also making sure that everybody has breakfast.
Absolutely. Yeah, Timber could definitely forage in the cabinets of Gideon and Baka to find what stores they have.
Damn, I'm an idiot. Sorry. When he said breakfast, I was thinking of him as Kira. I was like, I don't want pocket bacon.
Nope, no pocket bacon here, but it is a lot of dried meats and grains, mostly oats.
There it is.
Of course.
It's been a while.
Wow.
And but yeah, you're able to have a breakfast ready for everybody.
Talray's gonna check on. Well, I guess he probably left Mundy out rummaging overnight. So he's probably gonna find Mundy, who's probably somewhere nearby, and then check out the menagerie to see if the animals are doing okay. Because it's been a while, and he feels like he's not being helpful in any way, so he might as well do something that makes him feel good.
Yeah, you would find Mundy outside, kind of rolling around in the grass on his back, and you hear a buzzing sound from his mouth.
I just whistle to bring him over, to like tell him to come over here.
Mundy walks over, but he looks a little embarrassed.
All right, what's going on? I know that look.
And he just looks his head away from you, but every now and then his eyes look over to you, but then away. You can just hear his mouth is just...
Yeah, I just grab his face with my hands, and I don't open his mouth, but like I lift up like his lip, like you would with the dog, to check his teeth.
Yeah, you can see he's got some kind of like I would say small cat-sized bug in his mouth that he's not letting go. That just keeps like bzz, bzz, that he seems to have been playing with for the last hour.
Okay, you've had your fun. Spit him out now. I'm like holding his jaws now, like, come on, get in. Pay attention. Don't make me dispel you.
It's at the threat of dispelling him that he finally opens his mouth, and you can see it kind of just like this bug, this like giant dragonfly, just sort of like kind of like drops to the ground, covered in his spit, and it's just sort of and it starts to try to fly away, but its wings are too heavy with his spit, so it just awkwardly walks as best it can as a bug away, crawling. As you see, Mundy's eyes are just on it, like watching it and looking back at you, watching it, looking back at you.
Do I recognize this type of bug? Is it anything that like I would be familiar with?
I mean, it'd be related to some of the. It might be similar to some of the larger insects you'd find in Taramran. Deep, heavy, old forests like this often have like larger creatures that have just sort of evolved over time in this space. It looks pretty harmless. It just looks like it's just a big insect that typically doesn't have to deal with moondrakes in this area, so it wasn't expecting to be captured by one.
Yeah, I use Druidcraft to do like a little harmless wind blow to try and get that thing back on its feet, and then I don't like pay it much more mind after that, and just look to Mundy and say, "Hey, I'll find you some good food, something that'll won't upset your stomach. You gotta listen to me on deals like this, all right? I know what's best for you."
This is just sort of awkwardly and ashamedly upset. about everything that has happened in the last 5 minutes.
We're going to the menagerie. I got some good stuff for you. And by good stuff, I mean good berries.
Mundy's the only one here who likes the good berries you give him. Okay. All right. So you're going to the menagerie. We've got Ekbral Goth, who is training with Elliot Fern. Timber's watching Ekbral Goth like a creep. Scarlet is pretending to be asleep until they all go do the things I just said. And Sarathil is going to the lab or the facility. Okay, excellent. All right, so let's start with Sarathil. Sarathil, you go in there and you can see Gideon is asleep with his head on the console itself, like he fell asleep working on it. And you can see Baka she's hovering around as if she probably didn't sleep at all, and she is just putting final touches on. As you can see, she's like, as you walk in, she's like taming one of the vine tendrils of the pillar of root and just sort of like using druid crafting magic to slowly manipulate it into place to lock in with the roots as she kind of just okay.
Behind. So how did we do?
Well, I mean, we did some calibration, some simple, non-risky stuff through the night, and I think we've got the rift tempered again and stabilized. We have got the roots connected to the right points so we can control the rift again, expand and close it, and hopefully we can make sure nothing bad happens when we try again. But Gideon's got to sleep for a little bit.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's why I come here. Is there anything else I could do to prepare? We want to get these going so we can move on.
I think the only thing we really need is if you and your friends have any diamonds, we can get your friend Rowan all set up and ready to go, and we can put her in best tip-top shape to strike that hammer. It also, if she gets blasted back again, it's not as ideal. She does seem very good with the hammer. We could get your some of your other friends to take her place.
Let me go check. I don't usually carry the gold of the party. I'll go look on that while Gideon finishes resting. As I
by the moon. Crescent not. Yes. Glory.
As I say that, I'll go try to find Timber.
Okay. I imagine you'd be able to find him outside. Probably, I imagine, Timber, you're like right outside just watching Ekbral Goth from a distance, or are you legitimately hiding and creeping?
No, he's pretty out in the open. He's just blatantly just back against the wall or a tree, just watching. Maybe probably just eating the breakfast that he made.
Yeah.
Yeah, just slowly.
I'll approach him. Timber. It looks like Gideon and Baka were successful in repairing what they needed to do. They have just putting on the finishing touches, and Gideon should be probably waking within the hour to start the process again.
This is great news. This means we can leave earlier than predicted.
Yes, we do need to make 2 more still, so hopefully everything goes according to plan and correctly.
Right.
Part of the reason that's why I want to ask you, I remember back in the Underdark, we were rewarded from the Dwarven King down there with a multitude of gems. I know you had them in possession. Is by any chance any more diamonds from that collection that we had that possibly we'd be able to use in the event of something going wrong again?
Let me take a look. I do not believe that I have those. I have some money that we might be able to trade.
If it's no, then it's no.
It's no. However, if you need access to chat with a magical being, I can talk to Felix for you.
No, that's not what the need was for. Baka had asked if we had any in our being to help with the process of creating the stones. But it does not look that way, so we have to make sure we get it right the first time.
I mean, he might have diamonds. He's a magical.
Just who are you? You're referring to Felix?
Yes, the one who did my tattoos.
Why would he give you diamond? I'm not quite following what you're suggesting here, though.
He is a store owner. He is a magical god, as it were.
Gonna ask him to come up here before us and give us diamonds. Someone of that power, why would he do something of?
Oh no, I can literally call upon him.
Reality.
Right. Do you want me to summon him?
If you think if he would respond.
Timber's like, I don't know either, but let me try. I'm gonna take out Felix's rock and literally just rub it a little bit, and then just knock on it 10 times. Felix, it's Timber. We need your resources. If you can help the Wayward Five. And Timber's gonna throw the rock about like 10 feet away from them.
Excellent. Timber, roll me a D100.
Okay.
Come
Madman.
on.
The madman.
Love Felix.
57.
You throw the rock, and it bounces, and you and Sarathil, I imagine, are just watching the rock, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, you hear a voice right behind you say,
Yes.
What are you watching that rock for? As you look behind you, you can see like just Felix is standing, like his legs. He's standing outside of a chest, the same chest that his shop was in Vermosia. Like it's right behind you. He's just standing right there.
Felix.
Timber, yeah. Oh,
I just didn't expect. I didn't know how the rock worked. I just thought like maybe something would come out of it. I didn't realize you just appeared behind me.
Wait, it worked?
There's your rock right there.
Oh, I just heard 10 knocks on my door, and I came out. Where the fuck are we?
We are in Elysia.
Oh no! No!
Okay,
No!
Felix, you'll only be here for 2 minutes, not even. We just need some diamonds, and we'll go. And I won't call you again unless it's an emergency while we're here.
Oh, God, and you see he kind of lifts his you realize at this point that he is in pajamas. Like he has basically a onesie on. But you notice that he's holding his prosthetic arm in one hand because he was sleeping and he hasn't put it back on yet. So you see he just sort of scratches his head with his hand and goes, Diamonds, I'm sorry, it's just not business hours right now. I guess it is, really.
When is business hours? When can I...
No, you're an acquaintance. This might be some demerits for you. Okay, we were getting close. We were almost friends. But you freaking waking me up. I could have called first with a sending spell or something. Didn't I tattoo you a sending thing?
No, that was our other party member.
Why didn't you call first then? Man?
She's sleeping, and I thought, what... I thought we were friends, Felix.
I said, okay. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to ruin the vibe, but we were almost friends. Okay, you know what? It's your first time using the rock. I didn't think it would work, so I never expected this to happen. But okay. And you see he reaches into his pocket and pulls out, and you see like dozens of diamonds just spill out of his pocket onto the ground. And he's like, oh shit. As you can see, like his onesie is covered in magical haversatches. And he just goes down and starts grabbing all these diamonds and shoveling them into his arms, and he picks them up. He's like, okay. You can see as he gets up, you see his air genasi hair just floats up and stays up in the air, floating. He says, all right. And he's just, is this one big enough? And
Sarathil?
or how about this one?
Sarathil's just literally got this look on him.
Hey man, I remember you too. You fucking walked out of my shop, and look at you now. You need me.
How much money do you have on you, Timber, right now?
Oh, I've got a lot of money.
Would you, for the love of God, could you maybe fronting $500 worth of dollars?
Oh,
500 gold
Dollars.
pieces worth of dollars.
I've heard of dollars before.
I don't
take
know.
dollars.
Wow. Like US dollars? I've heard.
How do you know
I saw a
about
sign
that?
in their shop right.
No,
No,
don't accept those. They don't. No one accepts those across the multiverse. Oh my God.
Yeah, clearly he was talking about Monopoly money.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I shovel out 600 gold pieces for gold. There's an additional 100 for you, just sort of the inconvenience of you being in Elysia. Oh, and I got 2 more treats for you, Felix.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pull out the perfect rock, which I've had
For so long.
What do you mean the perfect rock?
I have the perfect rock, as described by Sean.
How long have you had that?
When? When was that?
This was when we went to. This was the first, I think it's within the first 10 episodes.
Yep.
Wow.
And I wanted to distract those harpies or birds.
Yep.
Like
In the
that.
swamp.
And I went to go pick them up in the swamp, and I went to go distract them with a rock. But instead, we decided to go with something else. But I found the perfect rock, and it's been in my inventory since.
Wow.
And I'm going to hand Felix the rock, and I said, "Isn't this the most perfect rock you've ever seen?" Making the chance out of this.
You see, he shoves all the diamonds back into his pocket and hands you the one that he picked out for you. And he snatches that rock from your hands and starts to inspect it. This is the perfect rock I've fucking seen, man.
Right.
Just enough smooth parts, just enough rough parts, almost perfectly round, but not quite, similar to the structures of a planet. Oh, anything like this. Oh shit, did you guys know that your moon is broken?
Oh. Yes, she's broken.
Alright, well, next time call. That rock over there is not going to work anymore. I don't think so, at least. Maybe keep it. Maybe hold on to it, but
I might use it just in case of emergencies.
all right. Is there anything else? Anything else I can do for you?
No, that's it. I just thought I'd, give you a rock.
You need a tattoo? You need a tattoo?
I mean, I would love one, but not right now.
How about you?
Well, you've asked before. It's not quite what I need.
I can give you a temporary one.
No.
Okay.
Actually, while you're here, can I just get a quick refresher on this one? And I just show him my my healing word tattoo. I just need one more charge of this one back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's just gonna cost you however much gold I charged you last time. You remember what that was?
I think it was like 200. It was like 150 or 200 gold, something like that.
Let's go with 150. 150 gold, please. All right, let me get. Oh, you know what? I'm awake now. I'm awake now, man. I think I'm gonna stick around for a little bit. All right, come on in. We'll get that tattoo done real quick, and then you can get me some of those oats. They look fucking great.
Wait, do you want me to go inside the chest?
Hey, that's what the tattoo guns are.
Okay, all right.
You've been in here before. Come on in. You're welcome in too, Mr.
Old man.
Old man. Come on in, old man. If you'd like.
That's okay. I have something I need to attend to.
Here's your diamond.
He just takes his hand out and just walks away.
Hey man, you got a whiff about you, man. You got a whiff about you. Do you look back when he says
No.
that? Okay.
No.
Hey, dude,
And it's just going away. I'll just like mutter to myself. It's like, I know beggars can't be choosers, but I never will understand the machinations of those most powerful.
Hey man. Hey man, Timber.
Hey.
That guy smells like time. Smells like time. You know what I mean? He smells like time. He's all chronoed up.
I don't know what you mean, but based on what I've been told, I guess that makes sense.
Okay, well, just be careful with that. That's a real dangerous shit. All right, come on, let's go. Let's poke it.
With me, be careful. And as I'm following him,
Yeah.
like I pause second behind, and then me, and then I just start following him.
And the chest closes
Yeah.
as you go in. As once again inside, you immediately hear like what sounds like 50 rooms away is just a bunch of crashing noises. It's like, I never caught that aboleth. All right, let's go.
Just wide-eyed, not even questioning Felix. Like,
Okay. All right. And with the arrival of Felix and the gift of a diamond, we're going to take a short break, folks. All right. We will be back in 5 minutes. Please stick around as we get Scarlet Greater restored and we make these motes, these ingots. All right, folks. We'll see you soon, everyone.
See you soon, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Break time.
we'll be right back.
Like a good broadcaster, I waited a second, but now I'm talking to the actual stream. Welcome back, everybody. Mike is eating a big old egg that has a little egg inside it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Left over from Easter. To all you rabbit worshippers.
All right, so Timber is off getting his tattoo renewed, cleaned up. His charged spell rot tattoo that has healing word, which I completely forgot about and saved your guys' asses a couple sessions ago. After on a hunch using the stone that Felix gave him to summon Felix, that Felix said this will probably not work. And we rolled for it, it worked. So now Felix, the interdimensional magic shop owner, is here. Inside, Scarlet, you are alone. As the last person leaves, as you see, Talio is the last person to leave. And if you kind of sneak an eye, you can see he's just watching over you. Like just making sure that you are okay before he kind of is like, okay, she's just sleeping in. He decides to leave.
That's nice of him. All right. I'm going to give it a minute just to make sure nobody comes back. And then I will roll over because I imagine Scarlet sleeps on her stomach. So just going to roll over and then slowly sit up and bring my knees to my chest. And kind of just like wrap the blanket around my shoulders. And sit for a couple seconds like that. And then I'll reach back and touch the flame that's behind my ear. And I will cast Sending. And you'll find out who when I start talking. So I don't want you to know.
I'm almost positive I know.
I'm so curious.
Start talking.
Senric. It's Rowan. I need to hear a familiar voice. I miss the sacredness of the forge. Things aren't well. I need to know you're right.
Not who I thought.
Who did you think?
Kieran.
Ah. Not yet.
He's dead.
He's not dead!
Come on.
He's pretty dead.
Pretty undead.
Oh. Okay. All right, so you send this to Senric, and first thing that feels good about this is that it goes somewhere. He is not dead, or has not been moved beyond. And
Not dead yet.
Not yet. But eventually you would hear his voice, the familiar gruff voice from Herr Dolan.
Little one. It's good to hear that you're still holding the forge sacred. I don't know what to tell you. I hope you're safe. Wherever you are, little one. Yeah. Good to hear from you.
Was the awkward dad response comes to you.
I do it one more time. I didn't write this out, so I'm going to count. It's good to hear your voice too. But you didn't answer my question. Are you all right? Are you safe?
No, these old bones are fine. I'm with the drow lady. We're staying in this weird cave, but there's lots of good metal to work with. And strange things to learn from, and I do miss the forge back home. The work. But I'm fine. I only hope that maybe I'll see you again. Not, you got work orders. Backing up. Got more daggers to make.
I use my last slot. I miss you too. Glad to hear the work is still there. I'm safe for now. I hope I can see you again too.
Okay. He would kind of give a last response. Or sort of,
all right. All right. Work to do. I'm sure you do too, little one. Goodbye. I don't know how this works. Which end do I talk into? Just say things and you can hear me?
When that's done, that will have made me feel a lot better. So even though I'm still tired, I've ready to try again, and this time we'll remember remember working in the forge with Senric, and we'll channel that kind of energy into Hammer Strikes today.
Okay. So you're gonna go back into the facility to help?
Yep, and I'm gonna keep the blanket around my shoulders, but I will walk back in there.
Okay. Imagine this is around the time that Sarathil is coming back as well. And you can see, Scarlet, you can see that Gideon has woken up by now and is he's very tiredly moving about. As he's just sort of like, he's still like manic in the behavior he has, where he's kind of moving around excitedly, but he's like,
all right, Baka, we need to. Oh, I'm so tired.
Me too.
Ah, Rowan, just who I wanted to see, and
as you're descending,
Sarathil. Baka tells me that you might have some diamonds.
Through very odd channels, yes, we were able to acquire some diamonds.
Oh.
As he walks over and hands them out.
okay. You see, he takes what he needs from them. And just for your reference, you still have 400 gold points worth of diamond after. As Scarlet, you see, he kind of hobbles over. You see, he also has a blanket over his shoulders. like you, that Baka had put on him, and he just grabs. He takes the diamonds, the amount that he needs. And you see, he does the same thing he did the first day to you. He crushes them up in his hands. He just holds them, and I mean they're diamonds, and somehow he's just crushing them up with the magic. And then you see he turns to look at you and just goes. And once again, the diamonds go all in your face, and maybe there's a small twinge of pain as you think about all the times Wiswick blew gem dust in your face.
Totally.
But as they kind of like dance around you, you can see this may not have been part of the ritual of the magic, and maybe Gideon just did it because he's a little tired. The dust turns into little beads of light all over you as you feel all of that all that sickness, as you feel as if you just had a full night's rest in a matter of seconds. And you're no longer exhausted.
It's excellent. I don't know how you do that, but thank you. How much did that cost, Sarathil?
It was, seeing what we have left, probably about just 100 gold pieces.
I meant for the whole deal.
Oh.
All of that.
All of the diamonds? 500 total.
Isn't it 600?
Well, he tipped him $100.
No.
Oh, he tipped him 100. That's right. Okay. All right. And now that I have some fucking gold, I will reach into a side pocket and I will pull out 500 and slap it into Sarathil's hand.
As generous as this is, we are a team.
Don't take it. I don't want any backtalk.
And it was also provided by Timber, so this would be wasted to me.
Snatch it back. Where is he?
Wait. We need to prepare. We need to start getting ready for this experiment.
Yes, but don't we need Timber? Doesn't he have to pull the lever?
I suppose it could be anybody.
It was successful when
he just finished feeding the animals.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's going on?
There we go. Come, Talray. You must pull a lever once we're ready. Come.
All right, same deal as before. And Mundy, I toss the magical orb to Mundy, and he flies off.
Oh my! I would advise being much more careful with that.
Oh, don't worry. He knows not to bury it.
Yes. All right. Baka!
Sarathil would actually cast telepathy and try to pull it out of his mouth magically. Attempt
telekinesis?
Yeah, telekinesis. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, not telepathy.
It's like, who are you talking to? They're mine.
Right, sorry.
I was also like, yeah,
telekinesis.
Okay. All right, so then that means we need a strength check from Mundy, and then I believe you get to use your spell casting modifier when you're doing a. Your spell casting ability contested by the creature's strength check. So Mundy do a strength check, and you do a spell casting ability check.
Okay, this seems a little bit, scary, but we'll give it a shot. I think that if Talray has any, control, seeing what's happening, he would have commanded, what's called Mundy to release it.
I would say you could do that if you wanted to. If you start to see a tug on Mundy from Sarathil's magic, you could command him to release it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to roll just to see what happens initially, because I don't think I would understand. But
yeah, let's roll initially. But if for whatever reason Mundy maintains control of it, you'll notice right away.
And I rolled a nat 20.
Okay, Mundy got a 7, so
and so my plus 12 is a 32.
Okay,
and also, which actually fits perfectly because you see Sarathil very sternly. He's like, "We are not playing any more games with this. It's volatile and dangerous." As he kind of brings it closer toward him.
Which is precisely why I wanted to keep it away from the volatile and dangerous experiment we're conducting.
In a fey creature's mouth, no less.
You don't. If you don't trust Monday, you don't trust me.
It's not a matter of trust. It's the magical inheritability that it possesses.
Just make him drop it.
You see, he already dropped it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he ripped it out of his mouth. You see Baka flutters between the two of you, and she just holds her hands out to you, Sarathil, and says, I'll take it and put it somewhere safe. There's no need. We need to be working together here, you two.
Very well.
Don't worry, Sarathil. I'll just put it over in the next room. She takes it.
Yep.
Thank you, dead man. And she flutters back into another chamber, not your guys' quarters, into another chamber. And you see when she comes back, roots grow up behind her to protect that area. All right, people. Third time's the charm, right?
Third time's the charm.
She flutters over and hands the hammer to you, Scarlet.
I do okay cleaning it off.
There's some ridges in the runes that were a little fermented, but
Sorry, I should have used my own hammer.
you did good. Yes.
Do I know that I have... Do I have Fortune's Favor now? And do I know that I have it?
Since you took a long rest, I would say you have kind of like a... It's not that you like can open your book and read it and cast it. It's not like written in your book, but you do have kind of like a instinctual feeling of it that I'd say is definitely something you could use in this situation. Like you feel that there's something there you can tug on. Like you're not quite sure what it is right now, but you know it has there's power there.
Right. So doing so, he'll get his book ready and kind of dynamically moving his hands. And then towards the end, I guess, mimicking what he saw from the goat, just instinctually going in to touch his heart. And then like a little light comes out, and then he'll flick it towards Scarlet and cast Fortune's Favor on her.
Mm. That's new. What is that?
A bit of luck provided from me.
Thank you.
So Scarlet, you have a free reroll.
Excellent. Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, so we have Talry at the lever, Sarathil at the ready with the book, Scarlet at the ready with the hammer. All right. It's time. Once again, champions. Baka! He holds the staff up. All right. We've done this a few times. I don't think you need coaching from me anymore. But just in case, she slaps you on the cheek, and Scarlet. She says, "You're going to do great, Rowan." And she flicks your nose and casts guidance on you.
Ah. Oh boy. Thank you.
All right. You see she rushes over and starts chiseling. Oop, that is a creepy song.
Oh no.
So palette
As she turns, as she turns away from you, the room gets dark. As she slowly turns her head back, and you see a pallid mask.
You provided me with everything I needed.
You fools.
All right. She starts to carve the runes in, and once it's done, you hear the familiar voice, on my count. My count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Snaps the staff. You see the energy of the rift starts to expand. Now, Dragon Boy, as pulled, you're up, dead man. And Sarathil, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Come on, Sarathil.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, you see all of that roiling power focus down into your book until you see that rapidly increasing, descending droplet comes down. Now, Scarlet, you have Fortune's favor. It's not an advantage thing. You roll. If you don't want to take that roll, you can then re-roll and take either roll you want.
Right.
And I'll allow you to apply guidance to whichever one you choose.
Okay. If I don't use it, does it
You
stay?
keep it. You keep it
Until
for,
I
I
use
believe
it?
it's an hour.
An hour.
It is...
So if everything is successful here, you can keep it for the next one.
Yes, 1 hour.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Come on.
Remember, this is a Smith Tools check, so strength and proficiency added to this roll.
That's right. Strength and proficiency. So that's going to be 1. This will be 6. All right, here we go. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to add guidance to it. Nice. All right, so 23.
23. Okay, so with Sarathil's 27 and with your 23, it descends down, and kind of with the experience and with the resolve, you see it and you watch it, and almost for a moment, Scarlet Rowan, it feels like time slows down for you for a moment, so you can get it right as it hits into the nexus of the Nexus Anvil, and you feel that immediate blowback as you're starting to be pushed back. Give me a con saving throw or a strength saving throw.
We're going to do con because I have advantage when I have a soul trinket. Okay, that's a 21.
21, okay. You steel yourself and feel the burst of energy, but it does not throw you back. Maybe you get pushed a few inches, and you may have to take a step back, where the overwhelming power is absorbed, and the bead is there. And you see Baka flutters around, slams it shut into another root container like the other one. That's what I'm talking about there, people. Here we go. She flutters off, and those roots open up to accept and close back up, and she comes back out. Ooh, that was the best one yet, right? How you all feeling?
Good.
We're on a roll. Let's get this finished.
Let's do it.
All right, this is the time. Destiny is on our side. We have it, people. We have it, champions. We have the moon with us. The moon. Crescent Tower.
Alray rolls his eyes.
You see, Baka catches you, Talray, and she's like, she nods to you, like, deal with it. As he slams the staff together. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's just stupid, but as soon as he says we have the moon with us, I'll smirk and think of Kieran.
Slams the staff together, casts mending on it, and Baka comes up and she looks at him. All right, old man, it's time. All starts here. And she carves the runes into it again.
All right, are you all ready, champions?
Snaps the staff. Talray.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep. You look in the corner, you see Mundy's just like watching all of this, like enamored just by like the Fae lights all moving around. He's just he wants to eat the Fae magic. Sarathil, into your arcane focus. Give me that Arcana check.
Big toot. Oh no.
Can you reroll?
I can knowledge from the past.
Do it!
I don't have anything else I could do. Hold on. This is not the past. I guess, yeah, knowledge from the past. Come on, please. Please, 6. For the love of God. 17.
Okay. Scarlet. Wait. I'm just going to describe what it looks like to you, though, because Sarathil, like I said, a lot of this is partial failures and partial successes.
Yep.
Sarathil does this, and it doesn't come out anything like it has before. It still works in that there is a concentrated focus, but it is moving erratically. Imagine instead of trying to hit a single point, you're trying to hit a bumblebee with a baseball bat. It's just...
I like try and just kind of time it at the right time.
Got it.
Remember, you have the reroll.
Yeah.
You can pick also. It's not that you...
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Is there any way Mundy can help, seeing that he's like a Fey dragon and kind of is familiar with all this stuff? And probably has seen Glowmung open a portal or two in his time?
Yes, I would allow that. Now, I'm just trying to think of what Mundy can do. I think could be interesting there.
I could channel my breath weapon through him. I mean, that's
let's go with
energy.
that. Let's go with that. And go ahead and give me just give me a D20 roll for Mundy.
Okay. I'm imagining it's something like he sees like a pattern going up, and then when he saw the pattern work perfectly on the first try, and then when he sees that there was a mistake happen, he wants to correct it, so he shoots his own energy to make up for the delay, kind of like if it was like a rhythm that he's like now trying to like pump into heartbeat, almost like he's giving it CPR.
All right, so then what I'm going to say for that, because I like that description a lot, you can add your proficiency bonus and wisdom score, wisdom modifier to Mundy's roll.
Okay, sounds good.
I got a 17, by the way.
Okay. Let me see here. How do
Mundy,
I even roll this?
Okay, you just roll a d20 and add it, yeah.
I rolled it.
I got a 14.
Is that what you rolled, or is that with the modifiers?
It's a 4 plus 10.
Okay.
Did you roll a 17 with the reroll?
Yeah, I rolled an 11 and then a 4. So I.
Oh, you would have had.
Guidance?
You did guidance already?
Oh no, I didn't.
No,
But
Baka would have given
again?
you guidance again. Yeah.
All right. So
You should have given it to Sarathil, but based on the previous trend, she wanted you to have it.
All right. So then that would be a dirty 20.
Okay. And you got a 14 with Bundy? Okay, so. And then you got a 17 yourself, right? Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got. Thank God for Mundy. I basically to equalize all of it, I made a DC and then I added all your scores together.
Nice.
Just to equalize it. So it works, but there's going to be some repercussions as it works. You watch as Sarathil, you almost feel like that like you've expended a bit by trying out this time magic without really studying it. So you're almost distracted for a moment. You're overwhelmed with the success of the first attempt and kind of thrilled with a new magic source. And you are overconfident and you overexert yourself so that the focus just is unconcentrated. It's not a proper singularity of the magic. So it's moving about too much, and almost like it itself is displaced by time, where it's like at one moment it literally just blinks to another spot as it's going down. Mundy, seeing this and kind of curious, cocks his head and slowly walks over. And behind Scarlet, she's like, God. As you just see, he kind of opens his mouth, and you can see his wings flare out, and they kind of start to almost like vibrate at a certain frequency. As you can see, this sort of multi-dimensional nature of Glomung is expressed in Mundi in a way that he doesn't even really realize he can do. But he is a spawn of Glomung, so he does innately have multi-dimensional phasing abilities. As his eyes go kind of white, and his breath magic sort of slowly comes out, and then focuses in a pillar, almost containing the singularity so that it returns to that slow trickle down. It's still kind of bouncing around and shaking, but it is much more stable than it was before. As Scarlet, you bring it down. You are going to be incapable of making a save against the blast back. Glomung is also going to get hit by the blast back. Mundi, sorry. Glomung's here. And there's just kind of like a feedback that goes throughout, so everyone's going to kind of take a little bit of damage. I still want everyone to give me a con saving throw, though, in the room.
Natural 20.
Nice.
25.
All right, well, that means you're going to take the damage, but you're not going to take any points of exhaustion.
Yes.
Sarathil, con saving throw.
17.
17, okay. You are going to take a point of exhaustion from the hit of this vortex. And you're going to take 11 points of force damage. What did Mundi get?
Mundi got a 9.
Mundi is going to take the 11 points of force damage, and Mundi has a point of exhaustion.
Well, okay.
Gideon failed and is going to take the 11 damage and a point of exhaustion. Baka succeeded, so she'll just take the damage. Talray, you're also going to have to roll.
Is it 11?
I did.
Oh.
I got a 7.
Talray also takes 11 points of force damage and has a point of exhaustion. But as this kind of like dust is kicked up all around and blasted all throughout the facility, you look through the dust, and Scarlet, Rowan, and Mundi can see in the Nexus Anvil is an ingot. You have crafted 3 ingots. Have what you need for your mission. Baka quickly clasps it in the root case, and then brings it to the safe place where the other 2 are. As Gideon is kind of like fallen back to the ground, and he lifts himself. Oh, Crescent Heart, blessed, we've succeeded. A glorious day. The start of healing this world. Come up, everyone. We must celebrate.
Yeah, Talray climbs to his feet and then immediately like runs over to Mundi and like picks him up and just is like holding him up, and it's like, who's the good boy? Yeah, it's you.
You see Mundi's tongue is hanging off the side like a dog as he's just super excited, but he gotta like, you see me immediately goes. He's just got a bunch of dust from the explosion in his face. He's like, I'd
give him some scritches under his chin too. Just be like, "You were wonderful, thank you."
He kind of like, you see a foot taps on the ground, and you see kind of just this little bit of radiant like fire comes out of his nose as you're scratching. Well,
God, that's over.
We did it.
Suppose it's time to plan now. What are you all thinking?
Well, we spoke a little bit, not with everyone, but we were brainstorming yesterday about an idea.
Hold on, let's get everyone in here. And you see she flies upstairs, and she's like, "Hey, fuzzball! horny prick.
The name is Ekbal.
Yeah. Seneschal of ickiness and champion of Zenny. I don't know. Well, come on, we got planning to do.
Barlgoth like taps his sword against Elliot Ferns and goes, "A good match. You have much to learn, but spend enough time with me, and I'm sure you'll be one of the best."
I hate respecting you the way I do now. But as the Knight of the Green, chivalry is important as is honor. She doesn't get my titles right either.
All that's important is winning a match, he says as he puts his sword away and walks off.
And you see Elliot Fern does like a very over-the-top knight's bow to you with his sword kind of held downward like this on the ground. Just like, as there's a very strange friendship here that could be an entire spin-off.
Excellent.
But you all gather down below to discuss what you are deciding to do, as Talia would also accompany you after Talia's just been doing his own like gathering and foraging and stuff, completely like taking his own time outside and wandering the forest around here. But you're all together now to finalize your plan.
So, have you finally done it? Have you made whatever it is we need to do the things that we need to do to save the world?
Yes, no thanks to you.
But I was helping by staying out of the way.
Well,
Baka does bring out the 3 vine orbs, and she does kind of open one up just so everyone can see what you are working with. Ekbralgoth, give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
With advantage, because you're extra planar.
Oh. Okay. 4.
Wow. I even
With
read.
advantage?
I even read. He's good at fighting. He's not.
4 and 2 were the rolls.
Man,
With
I
a
reduced the DC so much because I was like, he's extra planar. Like, yeah, I'll give him a 10.
That's a pretty orb you got there.
Not as beautiful as me.
No, he does the pretty woman thing and goes to touch it and she closes it on his hands. Yeah. We've got 3, 1 for each monolith. It needs to be planted, the base, but in extreme circumstances, it can be activated with just a volatile force. That is significantly more dangerous than just planting it safely at the base of the monolith. You will not have time to get away if you use that second option.
I was about to ask the logistics of it myself. Once we plant it, how much time do we have?
With these casings I designed, quite impressive, I might say. Incremental. No, that's not the right word. That's not the right word. Pivotal. That's not the right word I was thinking of. It's the correct word, but it's not the word I was thinking of.
Crucial.
Essential.
Crucial, essential, I don't know anymore.
Important.
Pivotal, important. It's important. These root structures I've designed are what will safely allow you to escape before the destruction of the tree that will grow out of it. I've designed it as best I can. It'll give you 10 minutes.
Ekbarlgoth is going to look at the size of these spheres and then look over at Talray's gun. And kind of compare. Is it like a musket?
It's pretty muskety. It's pretty muskety. The one thing that I would say would immediately come to mind, though, is the fact that to fire something from a gun, you have a small combustion, which would probably trigger the them. Right. I really like where your head's at there.
Yeah.
But just her talking about the way that force can trigger it. The gun's probably not the best option.
Then he's gonna look at Talio look his longbow up and down and like imagine tying this onto the end of an arrow. And goes, well, if it's just impact that we need and we need to be far away, what's the safe range of detonating one of these?
Depending on the force exerted, at least anywhere between 120 and 240 feet away. There's additional impacts. That's to not die. Another 240 to 500 feet after that is still going to experience some levels of scalding and burning. This is a very, very concentrated ingot of Facidian.
So it's going to, what, explode? Is that what's happening here? It's a massive burst of energy, or you mentioned roots and trees? And...
Yeah, well, concentrated down into this little ingot is not only Facidian powder, but also the actual seed of a great tree of the Feywild. So it is the rapid release of the growth and energy of that tree mingled with the Fey explosion, which won't hurt the tree, but will hurt anything of this plane of existence. So this guy actually would probably not take as much damage as she points at Talray. It would hurt, for sure. Might kill him, but he has a much better chance than the rest of you, given his Fey origins.
I can take a shot. I mean, 600 feet range with a longbow, easy. I don't know if
your range would probably be reduced given the added weight you're going to the arrow.
I was just gonna say that. Well, I would need to take a few practice shots with some test arrows beforehand.
Well, it's a good thing to have in our back pocket, if nothing else.
Talio would speak up and say, I believe my discussions yesterday that the Wayward Five will take one seedling to the southern spire, while myself and whatever forces you can spare, Gideon, including the Brothers of the Grove, we can take the northern spire. And then we will meet up again, the central spire, to show the whole of Elysia how vulnerable and weak Aella really is, and what she really is.
Sounds like a wonderful plan to me. I wonder who came up with it.
The demon is very tactically minded. Thank you, Ekbolgoth, for your insight.
Makes a very over-the-top flamboyant bow.
Say it was a bit of a group effort, but yeah, good work, Ek.
He just stares at Talray.
So we'll need to prepare then. It's a long journey for both parties. When we want to attack, it might be difficult if you have means of communication, as we discussed yesterday. We should attack as close to the same time as possible to prevent Aella from being able to summon any of her lackeys quickly to either assault site.
I'm able to send messages.
As well, we can plan to speak with one another on the evening of every day, to see where we're at, and plan accordingly.
That will work.
Well, if everyone's agreed upon this, then I guess we should get going.
Yes. I will need to travel back to the grove to collect the brothers. But the northern spire is closer than the southern spire, so you can leave ahead and always wait until I'm in position with my party.
Very well.
I would make any preparations you need now. collect what you need. Exchange goods if there's things that are better for others. Tomorrow, we leave.
Talray, upon hearing this, pulls out the arcane core that he picked up yesterday and a few health potions that he just had on hand and says, I've been holding on to this stuff. I don't see much use in it. If anybody else thinks that they might need any of this, let me know.
Oh,
I'll take
right.
the potion.
I had 2, so there's one left
Yeah.
before in my hand, and
Just a regular one?
yeah, it's 2 healing potions.
Yes. The Noldo. I was so engrossed in work, I forgot that he had fallen. As we go to reach out, beckoning for the arcane core.
Yep, you could have it.
He'll hold on to it. Let me see what I could do in my studies and see if I can get him back online. It's his working and are all foreign to me, but maybe I can identify some sort of clairvoyance to how to start him again.
You would know better than I would. Good luck.
I take out the 500 gold and I slap it in Timber's hand. That's for the diamonds. And I don't want to hear anything about it.
I didn't think Timber was there. I thought Timber was still with Phoenix the whole entire time.
Oh,
In the
shit,
chest.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I'll say that's fine. Baka never found you. Because Baka didn't know you were in your chest.
And I take that back.
So Baka was just shouting out Furball. Oh, fuck, he's not here. Went back inside.
Where is Timber? So I'll take that back. I'll hold the gold and be like,
I
What did Timber do?
didn't want to say it before since we had a job to do, but miraculously and weirdly enough, that Felix fellow appeared, and Timber requested another tattoo from him. He's where we got the
another
diamonds
one.
from.
He's running out of space. All right. Well, I suppose we
I
should
have
go
no
find
idea
him.
what we're talking about.
That's right,
does
Talray's
magical
never met
tattoos.
Felix.
Oh, you'll enjoy him. Come on, we'll introduce you.
All right.
Okay. So as you're all getting ready in your own ways throughout this day, talking with Felix, he's got a lot of shit you could buy from him to prep for this stuff. Remember, you guys also have your potions of Hero's Feast that you also have. Remember, you have that. We will transition. Huron.
What's that mean, Sean? Ah!
You find yourself in a bare room on a cot. You don't sleep anymore. You wait. And the door unlocks. You never quite know who unlocks it. Maybe it's Sprig. Maybe it's Rodrin. Varys. Or maybe the last sovereign that you've noticed wanders these halls. But you have surprising rain over this floor of the Citadel. You step out, and the chamber is open there. There's just circular rooms, and you look out and you can see the pools of Queen Aella. And she stands, really, almost in a preacher's pose, their arms out. You can see kneeling in front of her in the waters is Sprig. You see Rodrin is off to the back of the room watching, but she just seems to be almost might assume meditating with Sprig, who is just kneeling there, her moon glaives in the water. She's just looking down into the water with a very neutral face. What do you do?
So I'm overlooking this this font. I think Kieran would just walk to the edge of like the balcony or whatever it is and just watch whatever is happening below.
Okay. You watch as you could give me a perception check with Kieran stat block, which I should have warned you to pull up.
It's alright, we got it bookmarked still. Uh, 22.
Oh. It's hard to discern the words that Aella is saying, but she is whispering. You could presume maybe prayers, maybe meditations.
If I can see her lips, I can read them.
I forgot about. I
I
haven't dealt with Kieran in a while, and that is true.
Well, I haven't had to. I don't think I've rolled low enough where I didn't
That's
hear
true.
what they said.
That's true. So you can definitely then, in that case, you could definitely pick up a lot of what she's saying to her. And they are meditations. They are recitations of focus. You catch some of them. They're mentionings of devotion, often, of the future, the journey, the destination. He's talking a lot about exactly what you might think. Queen Aella's great plan. Trying to reinforce within Sprig a certainty. It seems as though she is trying to heal the wounds you created in Sprig's fortitude. And it's as you watch that you would hear heavy footfalls coming up to you with armor clanking. You'd look over and you would see Ulamo Virdros, the last sovereign of Lycia before the current. Her eyes are empty. You can barely see a flickering light in the pupils. Head completely shaved, just a little bit of shadow of the silver hair as she stares at you.
What was her name again?
Ulamo Virdros. Virdros. You go back to that document I sent you about a year ago. It's in there.
Right. I just didn't want to spend all the time clicking through everything.
Yeah.
As she approaches, Kieran will give a deep bow and go, Sovereign Virdros, it's an honor.
Your meditations are soon. Come with me.
Without saying a word, he just falls in line.
She walks you down, around towards the steps that lead down into the throne room below. As you approach the bottom, you would see Sprig stands up wielding her sickles, her moon sickles, as she stands and looks Queen Aella in the eyes, who almost ethereally floats in front of her. And you just see she cups Sprig's cheek and rubs with her thumb across her cheekbone, washing away what looks like a tear. Before Sprig steps away and is walking towards you as you're being escorted by Ulumo.
As we pass, Kieran will try to meet her gaze. Sprig's, that is.
She would definitely make eye contact with you and would probably pretty quickly move away. Like for an undying champion, like way too much emotion the way she looks away from you. She would look directly to Rodrin after she looked away from you.
He'll follow her gaze and, take in Rodrin, and I'm sure his, almost statue-like appearance. And then if she meets his gaze again, he'll just give a little nod and not push the subject, but otherwise he'll just follow.
As you approach the edges of the pool, you're in like acolyte's robes at this point. Like they don't let you wear your armor or anything like that. She kind of disrobes you in a way. She just pulls off the robes, and you're in that same kind of just wrappings that you were in when you awoke here. You see Queen Aella just holds a hand out to you as if inviting you into the waters.
And we'll go.
As you step in, you kind of come to where Sprig was standing in front of her, and she floats above you, even though as at her footing, you would be taller than her. She is several feet above you. But she kind of descends towards you and does kind of almost exactly what she did with Sprig. She cups your cheek and lifts your head to make sure that you're, if you weren't already, looking to her.
Have you had the time to contemplate your place?
Of course, I've had nothing but time here. No books, nothing to do. No one to really talk to either. Is this what you do to all your champions? Force them to think, torture them with mind-numbing absence of all the things we live for.
Your mind is still young. Such worries will fade with time. No, I do not seek to leech the life from no. But contemplate, yes. What you face. And where you should stand with your people.
While this conversation is happening, Kieran is going to drop one hand into the pool and kind of just run his hands back and forth. And while he's doing this, he's trying to sense any power that lingers in there. Basically, he remembers she pulled her moon shard out of this pool, and he's just kind of testing it. He's not, very lightly probing in what one might discern as, maybe stealthily trying to do this.
Give me a sleight of hand roll.
Okay, cool. It's not gonna be good. Yes, a 6. But he's doing it while he's, continues to talk to her. as he does this, so, he'll start saying, I will always stand with my people. I couldn't imagine anything other than that. But have you thought maybe of whom our people should stand with as well? We stand with each other, but we are not alone on this continent, Aella. I beseech you, yet again, open your eyes. Together, we could be so much stronger if we ally ourselves with the humans to the south. The Gwen elves, the beast tribes, the deep gnomes, all of them. Together, we mortals could fight back and save this entire plane. We've done it before. You've done it before, Aella.
You've heard her voice. Yes.
The single most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my entire existence.
You can see that she sees what you're doing, and she is choosing not to do anything about it.
You feel these waters. You search for her touch.
Till the day I die. Well, the day I die again. Again.
She descends now so that she is her own height. And it's so strange to see such a powerful being who's rather small, even compared to other Elysians. She's almost like a human in the way that she's shorter. But instead of reaching down to you like she did before, she now reaches up. Cheek.
I've also heard such voices. Such a voice. I had thought it gone. But it is just a memory.
She'll hold her hand up and you can see now swirling almost around your hand at one point. Maybe tauntingly, maybe not, maybe just to give you a bit of reprieve. She lets you touch the gem for a moment as it slides through your hand and then out of your hand. You see now floating are the 3 shards.
But I will not so foolishly step forward into a world I do not know. Not again.
Then please, Aella, let me guide you. Me and my friends, we've traveled the continent. We've seen so many things, met so many people. If there's anything within you, that's the same woman that crossed the sea and brought your people here in the wake of ruin. The same who built all this, our great country, our great people. Extend that hand to more who need it.
I have spent 10,000 years with the ghosts of that story. And many of them died needlessly because of my foolishness to rush. No, we will contemplate With the help of your friends, dragon, find our place. Protect our people. That is the only journey.
Your journey will only lead you to emptiness and sorrows, Aella. What point is life without the beauty of all things within it? I am yours. Of course, I have no choice here. Know that I will always try to guide your hand towards a brighter future instead of a surer future.
You see she dips her hands into the water. She takes one hand and actually kind of holds it to your forehead, 2 fingers. You feel an aggressive need to kneel. You can choose to resist it if you want.
Aren't I already in the water, or?
Or you were standing in it. She's making you kneel in it.
All right, yeah. Kieran will go with it.
Okay. It's small. If you don't resist, it's just a small pain you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kneel down, she begins to recite the same meditation that she did for Sprague. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oof. 13.
The lights of the water shimmer in a way that was beautiful before, but now is immaculate. The face of Queen Aella is beautiful in a haunting and divine way in your eyes now, as that voice sings in your mind the recitations about this final journey home.
The great journey awaits.
And that's where we'll end tonight. All right. Thank you, folks, for sticking around with us through some fun RP and some crafting of weapons of mass destruction, and Kieran's journey with Queen Aella, which you'll see where it leads us next week. All right, folks, hang out with us this week. I have a whole set to paint this Thursday because I bought something that first of all, I thought we were going to get to the Spire tonight, which was somewhat foolish of me, considering you had a lot to discuss and 2 whole things to make and all of that. But next week, I'm sure we will. But I bought a set of terrain that I thought was pre-painted. It's not.
Oh no.
For like the facility where the Spire is. So, and it's a lot. It's terrain though, so it's like you prime it and then you dry brush it gray. So it's not going to be too hard. It's just if you want a sneak peek of the facility of the Spire that they're going to, join me on Thursday night for Relaxing in Paradise, where we are going to be painting it. Broken. No. Here's a little flying buttress as a little sneak peek. I bought this today at a gaming store that I like to frequent in Connecticut. I looked it up and the company doesn't exist anymore. So I feel like this is a rare find that I'm pleased with having purchased. So join me on Thursday while I paint that, and then probably we'll play Valheim with Shannon's husband, since he's been begging me for weeks to play with him. If any of you all want to join me, feel free to. This Friday, Shannon and I will be back for the Scales Above after our 2-week break. And Sunday is going to be the return of the Power Hour as well, which has been on a month-long hiatus due to life.
Due to life.
And, we went to PAX this weekend, which was very fun.
Very fun.
For Shannon and I. There was several points, Clayton, where I said to Shannon and Josh, I was like, Clay would love this.
Oh my God, Clay, you would have loved it.
I'm a big PAX East fan.
Yeah, it was great.
It was so much fun. All right, folks, but we are going to raid someone now to pass on this love. And we are going to send y'all over to... Let's see, who's on right? I'll go send y'all over to Mini Terrain Domain. They're playing D&D. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in Paradise. We'll see you all very soon. Join us for programming throughout the week. We love y'all. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Alex.